Hey everybody, how you doing? It's another video. I'm Audrey, and yeah, behind me here is a lovely tree called the Christmas Promise Tree. It's a new tradition that I've decided to set up for my family. I'm not going to tell you about it today because I need to just see if it actually pans out and how it works out, but I thought I'd put the tree in the background today because it's cute and I worked hard on it this weekend, so it gets to be there. What I really want to talk to you today about is the vaccine. It is here. I just got a message, an email saying that my organisation, my hospital organisation, is rolling out the vaccine to us starting this coming week. Am I going to get the vaccine? Yes. Oh yeah. Now, some of you are not surprised. You're thinking, yeah, well, obviously, why would you not? Others of you are a little bit surprised, and that's probably because there's some controversies going on in your mind. Let's address two things. First of all, the science. There's questions because, okay, first of all, there's three vaccines. The Moderna, the Pfizer, these two are mRNA vaccines, which is a little bit odd. People are a bit suspicious about mRNA, although RNA viruses have been used with other diseases, hepatitis B, etc. So they're not entirely new, but there's certain elements about this that make it a little bit unusual. So people in the know, people with medical knowledge are a little bit suspicious just because it's new. So to that I say, listen, how many things have not been, when the TB virus came out, when every single virus or drug has ever come out, there's always been naysayers and people worried and not sure and worried about the side effects. Medicine has side effects, it is a thing. But we have to push through and see, my opinion. So for that reason, I'm gonna have it. Okay, the Oxford vaccine, why is it only 60-75% efficacious? That is really good for a vaccine, by the way. It's an adenovirus vaccine, so in other words, they get this virus which causes the cold. I think they get it from chimpanzees' stool or something, poo. Yeah, don't ever look too hard into how people work out how drugs work and how we create things, because there's a lot of drugs that you'd probably choose not to have. So think about it, do your research. But anyway, it's an adenovirus, so it's basically like it gives you something like the cold, but without any of the activity in your body, and it causes your body to react and cause this reaction, which will then allow you to produce this surface antigen, which will fight the coronavirus if it lands in your body. So both to, you know, it's good enough. The normal flu vaccine that we have is probably like 40%, 50% efficacious, but we still roll it out every year and it protects a lot of people. If you're in that 60 to 70%, you're about 60-70% better than you would have been if you weren't. So you know what, I'm up for it, give it to me. Okay, that's science to the side. I'm going to talk about Christians for a minute. So if you're not a Christian and you haven't been in these circles where people are talking about all these scary things, then maybe you don't want to listen for a bit. But I'm just going to address a couple of things which are mainly bugbears for me. I think that there's a lot of people who post things irresponsibly, and particularly with COVID. And there's been so many people who just read things and go, oh, I know, and then they just send it to everyone irresponsibly. You need to think things through. You need to decide how you want to play things. If you're going to say things based on what you think the Word of God says, or what you think, you know, your heart is telling you, or the Holy Spirit is saying to you, think it through. Think it quietly. Think about who you're going to send it to, how they're going to respond, and what they're going to deal with it. There's some stewardship that needs to be involved here. Listen, I've had people sending me videos. There are these two women, I don't remember what their names are. They encouraging people to tell their church groups, etc., about problems with the coronavirus. And they've put up these things and they're telling people, do your research. And then they show you their research, which is mainly Wikipedia searches. I'm just saying. Then they're going on about all these things. They're talking about luciferase and how the COVID-19 vaccine is attached to luciferase. And they're going, luciferase? Come on, guys, get it? And they're trying to detach you from it because the word Lucifer is in it. Listen, get your facts straight. Luciferase is a bunch of enzymes which carry bioluminescence. That term was coined by some guy, I can't remember his name, Raphael Dubois, I've got it written here. So he worked on bioluminescence. He died in 1929. I mean, this term has been around for a long time. Lucifer is a Latin word meaning light carrier. That guy, the devil, before he fell down from grace, was a beautiful, glory-filled angel called the light bearer, Lucifer. If something is light bearing, that's why it was given that name. So luciferases are enzymes which carry bioluminescence, and actually the only link they have to COVID is in the research process, where they tag I'll call them fake viruses that they load into people so that they can see the response to antivirals and antibody and check your antigen response. So they have to tag them. Now, you may have all sorts of negative thoughts about gene therapy, and there's a lot of dodginess and, you know, the use of human embryos in medical research, which, by the way, is extensive and has been going on for a long time, and the biggest quandary being about how many of the embryos used are how would you call it, electively given. So in other words, someone has volunteered, they've had an abortion electively, and then that fetus is given to science. But there's a lot of aborted tissue that is not elective. The term abortion simply means that the child has been lost before birth, and I don't know, it's controversial. I'm not going to get into that. My point is this, is that be clear about why you don't want a medication. The coronavirus vaccine is a vaccine, like many vaccines. I have treated patients in their 30s and 40s who are trying to die literally from epiglottitis, disease caused by the Haemophilus influenza bacteria vaccine, and the main reason why they're getting it in their 30s and 40s is because they're the kids who in the 70s and early 80s, their parents refused to give them the Hib vaccine, which we all give our kids now. They were all in uproar, and then many years down the line, they have no protection, and they come in with this simple bacteria, so easy to treat, and we're sending them to intensive care unit because they've lost their airway from this horrible infection. My point is this, is that there's always going to be resistance against drugs and vaccines, and there's going to be camps. But if you're going to not have the vaccine, think carefully about why you don't want the vaccine, okay? People are going on about how it's tagging Christians again. It's a tagging mechanism, mark of the beast, etc. You need to go and read Revelation properly, okay? Those that belong to the beast are marked, okay? Those that are outside of the Lamb's book of life are susceptible to the work and the worship of the beast. If you have chosen Christ, if you are covered in the blood of Christ, how is the beast just going to get you? Because he tagged you with a vaccine. Why hasn't he tagged us with TB, measles, mumps, rubella, or what? The devil couldn't find a way except until the coronavirus came? Come on. Come on, Christians. If Satan is going to take me out, he's going to take us out the same way he has always taken us out, because we let our guards down. The Bible tells us it's our right, the breastplate of righteousness. You know, it's all these things that we're supposed to put up against his devices. You know, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation. This is our armor. And when we let it down, when we leave it at home, that's when he gets us. If you've got a pastor who's busy preaching about how you shouldn't have the COVID vaccine because you'll be susceptible to the enemy, and he's not preaching about the infidelity in the church and the lies and the fornication and all the things that are actually the things that are going to get us, where we've let down our righteousness, we've forgotten Christ. We're so distracted by nonsense that we forget about the Christ. Christ preached as he said. That's what's going to get us. Not a jab in the arm. Okay, so I'm numbered, and then what? So then I've got surveillance on me. My guy, I use the internet. The internet is enough surveillance. What does it mean? Okay, what? Satan's going to see me better because I've got a tag on me? No, he's going to see me because I wake up every morning and I declare the praises of Christ. That's what's going to... I'm fine with that. Let him see me because I'm all about Jesus. This vaccine in my arm, yes, there's controversies. There's controversies about where COVID came from, how quickly they got the vaccine, why the Americans are not using it on themselves and they're using it on us. Long stories. Listen, if you don't want to have the vaccine, don't have the vaccine. But don't have it because somebody sent you a message that you just swallowed and then you forwarded it on. Come on. Which God do you serve? What God do you serve? We've been praying. I live in a part of the country where the COVID levels are so high. My friends, my family, my colleagues are getting COVID left, right, and center, and some of them are dying. And we've been praying since March, April for a change. And you know what? Yes, sometimes God removes a thing just like that. Sometimes he does. But with countless diseases over the years, countless pandemics, what we've seen, countless pandemics, there haven't been countless pandemics, but with lots of diseases that we've seen, the answer comes in medicine. I'm a doctor. I have to believe that the wisdom that God gives man sometimes comes through in the form of medicine. The vaccine is here. We've been praying. Will there be problems? Yeah, of course there will. There's problems with anti-malarials, there's problems with paracetamol for some people. Audrey, is she going to have the vaccine? She's going to have the vaccine.